So we start off with race number 5. This is a Class 3 over the 1,000 metres, and Carroll Street returns. Of course, he was building quite a profile last season. Jerry Chow takes £5 off his back for his seasonal return, but does have to give weight away to the field. Goodview Clarico is a two-time course and distance winner. Magic Phoenix makes his Hong Kong debut. Brilliant Fortune returns to action as well. Still a maiden, but he's running against some couple of good ones. Beaten favourite his last 3. Nervous Witness. Brilliant on debut. That was back at the start of September. He won by 3 lengths as a 1.3 favourite, and down to Flying High also makes his seasonal return. Glorified Fire actually has been off the track since October 2020. Speed map, Tom.
Speed in this race, well, we're looking at horses like Nervous Witness and also Brilliant Fortune. I feel they'll be certainly the two leading chargers in the race. We saw Nervous Witness right up on the pace. Now, Propice, we haven't seen him for a long time. Boxing Day of last year, he hasn't had a trial coming into this either. He's coming back from a tendon injury. Carroll Street will be just behind the speed. Goodview Clarico, he's a horse that won't be too far away either. And then, Paul, you've got also the likes of Flying High in the race, who will get back, but he has been running on okay recently.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? And again, a horse like Ian hasn't shown any pace, isn't he? So he's likely to be at the back as well.
All right, we'll come back to a couple of those in due course, but probably the obvious place to start is with our favourite. That's Nervous Witness and his jockey, Zach Burton.
Nervous Witness, race number 5, the Boom Horse. How's he been since his first up win?
Yeah, really good. I've been on his back a couple of times. As we've touched on, he's got that tendency to be a bit eager in the mornings when he's galloping. He wants to get on with things, but his action's really good. He's pulling up well from his work, and he's ready to go back to the races.
As good as he was first up, he's going to have to be better this week because it's a very strong field. He meets with Carroll Street and Co in there. Exactly,
and it looks like there's a lot of pressure in it as well, so no doubt they'll try and serve it up to me, whether it's to the benefit of their own horse or not. They're not going to make it easy for him, but he only had that one soft trial going into that first up run this season, so I think he's come on since that run, and he's an exciting horse. I'm looking forward to riding him again.
You get to really push the button on him. You haven't needed to on race day or at the trials. Are you looking forward to getting to that stage and seeing what he can do?
I'd prefer not to. It's much easier when you don't have to.
Well, we'll see how it's all falls into place on Friday first, Tom. What did he beat on debut? I suppose the place to start. As impressive as he looked, what was behind him?
Circuit 7. He hasn't really done too much. He hasn't got much of a credential here in Hong Kong. Look, he's run 55.71 first up. When you look at a horse like Carroll Street, who's been able to run 55.36, I know Nervous Witness wasn't doing it overly tough over the final stages, but he's had a race this weekend, I feel.
Yeah, there's some good horses, and Carroll Street obviously one of them, one of the main dangers. But look, he looked so good on debut, didn't he? I mean, as you say, what did he beat? The time was okay, but he has to improve once again. I think he can, though. All
right, Cordyceps 6 actually came out of that race and did one on his next start, so he boosted the form in some sense, but visually he couldn't have been any more impressive. What of his rivals, though? Well, Carroll Street put together a good course and distance record last year, Paul, winning 3 of his 4 starts down the straight.
Yeah, and the other start he had, he was 3rd. So look, and that was behind Ping Ai Bravo, which is a good horse, as we know. So look, it was the horse is going really well at the moment. There's no question. The work's been good. Jerry Chow will take a little bit of weight off his back, so he won't have to carry the top of 133. So look, he's the main danger, I think.
He's obviously done well in the off-season. He's put on 40 pounds, this horse. As I said, he's run 55.36 down the straight in the past. He's beaten Winner Method, Metro Warrior. Thought his recent trial, he was just pushed a little bit late in that trial.
I was going to say that. I thought he was just okay in the trial, but maybe he's saving it for race day. We'll find out, won't we? Of the others, Goodview Clarico, Tom, could you make any sort of case for him?
Well, he's a horse in the past that's run 55.24 down the straight. I thought he was going to run a fair race on this occasion. I thought he was a little below par. He did stumble at the start, so there might have been a slight excuse there. This was the race that First Responder was able to win. But you look at his second up record, he goes pretty well second up.
He does, but look, you'd have to take him on trust after this run, wasn't he? He was hard at it for the last couple of 100 metres, I thought. So look, I haven't got him.
The benefit here is he's not carrying top weight. He's got 125 pounds compared to 133 there.
Okay, Dublin Star we can move on to next then, Paul. This is him back at the trials.
Yeah, nice trial from him, and he's a horse that used to play up down the straight 1,000. You can remember he used to miss the start earlier in his career, but as he's matured, he's sort of the pennies dropped with him, and he's a horse who doesn't mind it. I mean, he did step up and trip as well, but he has got form over 1,000.
He has. It took him a wee while to win his first race Dublin Star, but a win and a handful of other minor placings. But I thought his trial was quite good down the straight there. He cleared out on them over the final stages. Sha Tin was on board for that trial. He rides him once again, and he was up on the speed throughout. So wouldn't surprise if they try and be forward with him as well.
All right, this is Brilliant Fortune up at Chung Fei. Now, I did like this trial. I know he hasn't won yet in 5 starts, but he hasn't been too far away.
He's been knocking on the door, this horse. I've tipped him on numerous occasions, and I think he's certainly one for the trio and the Tierces here again is Brilliant Fortune. He was up on the speed and faded last time out behind Resolute. Resolute, of course, has since come out and won earlier on in the season, but not a lot of pressure in this trial, and sometimes we find a little hard to get a line on them too.
Yeah, that's a query. But we do know that he does like the straight 1,000 Brilliant Fortune, Joe Moreira aboard as well. So there's some positives there for him for sure.
OK, well, this is obviously just straight line speed we're talking about here over the 1,000 metres as well. To give you an idea of the fastest times at the moment, granted, Paul, Nervous Witness only has 1 start under his belt, and he did this on the bridle. Yeah. This is how they stack up. Yeah,
so I mean, he would have run quicker if he wanted to. I think that's what the point is there. Look, Carroll Street has run pretty quick times. Good View Clarico, I was a little bit worried with his last start. Carroll Street, I think, is the main danger. He's put on that weight. Look, I'm not that worried with that trial, because if you remember, he trialled really bad before his debut run, and he ended up starting at 47 to 1.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
So I'm not as worried as you guys are about the trial.
Yeah, I think I've learnt my lesson there. I wrote him off after that last trial, and then look what he came out and did.
All right, no surprises, Paul. Nervous Witness, he's long odds on at this stage.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with him, Nervous Witness. But as you guys have already made the point, he'll know he's been in a race. So he's on top. Carroll Street there second. Brilliant Fortune third, and Dublin Star. I think we've covered all those horses well. 8, 1, 6 and 4.
The only place I differ is with the 4th number, and I've thrown in number 6, and that is, I should say number 2, sorry, Good View Clarico. So 8, 1, 6 and 2. Nervous Witness on top. I think he'll win. Carroll Street, the Q horse. Brilliant Fortune. He's a horse that's been there or thereabouts. And Good View Clarico, but I wouldn't totally write off Flying High either, because he jumped awkwardly last start, but was still running on quite well at the end behind First Responder, and he was only beaten 1.5 lengths. So if you're looking for another one to play around, might be Flying High. 8, 1, 6 and 2.
And we are all around the same numbers there. Nervous Witness, very hard to beat. But yes, Carroll Street and Brilliant Fortune, I think, can make him work this